Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. October favourites. It's November tomorrow. By the time this goes up, I'm sure it will be November. And I have quite a few favourites to share with you from the last month that I have been wearing a lot and enjoying a lot. I think if you have watched a few of my videos, no prizes for guessing what my absolute favourites of this month have been. Much against my better judgment. They're both Victoria Beckham for Estee Lauder items that I am totally obsessed with and have really worn a lot. I didn't want to love this range, but I really do. I didn't rate the Morning Aura, but these two products I've really used time and time again, and these are probably going to be favourites within the kind of favourites of the whole year, let alone this month. So this is the eye palette, which I've shown. I can't even get into it at the moment. What's happening there? Yeah, it's partly because I keep the plastic overlay that is the only thing that gives you the name of the shadows, and it does protect them a bit. And I hope you can see there that I really have actually used these quite a lot. You can actually see signs of use, which usually takes forever in my case. Particularly these two browns and this gold, I've really used extensively. These two are beautiful shadows just to wear on their own, and by that I mean I don't need to do kind of complicated blending with other shadows to look good. And I also don't even need to use a base or a primer. The quality of these shadows is so good. They go on to the bare, untreated eyelid smoothly. And whilst using a cream eyeshadow underneath or a primer definitely extends the wear, I can get a good working day out of these without obvious creasing. That's the quality of these shadows, really exceptional. And then to my surprise, these two much more unusual for me colours, particularly the blue, which is absolutely gorgeous but very, very bright, whilst I haven't worn that kind of over substantial parts of the lid or anything like that. I have used it, and the green, dipped in with a very thin brush to do lining, tight lining the upper lid. Even then kind of smudging it out into the brown gives the kind of iridescent effect. And I have used the green actually to smoke out a little bit, and again mixed with either of the browns looks really good. I have even used the black, and I very rarely use black shadows because I'm not a great smoky eye fan, but on impulse I used it to kind of smudge lower lashes rather than a pen or pencil, and I found amazingly, again, it stayed in place once I'd applied it and didn't give me panda eyes or powder down or give fallout. Really, really strong quality. I've been very impressed by Estee Lauder here, because it's not a range I've used directly a lot. I mean, obviously I use, as you know, a lot of Tom Ford, which is Estee Lauder by another name, but really good quality. And then, no surprises, the other great favourite, Modern Mercury, the most beautiful highlighter. Again, you can see I've made some decent inroads into it. I use it as an eyeshadow, I use it as a highlighter, very lightly dusted. It does need a fan brush rather than a dense brush, because it is very pigmented. If you're lighter skinned, if you're darker skinned, then it will be just perfect. It's a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. I'm definitely going to be using that for a long time to come. There is no blush in the Victoria Beckham collection. There's a bronzer which I didn't get. I'm not a great bronzer fan. I have used with looks with these a Chanel blush that some of you might have from, I think, last year. I've looked online, you don't seem to be able to get it anymore, so it must have been limited edition. It's Alazan, which is a nice kind of frosted, muted, rosy brown. Very nice for this time of year, and definitely works for me as a blush with that eye palette. So, you know, definitely you can hunt around in your stash, hopefully, and find something that works if, unlike Victoria and like me, you definitely need some colour in the cheeks. The other blush that I've been using a lot this month is this limited edition cushion blush from Lancôme, and it's the Sonia Rykiel collection. And truth to tell, I really bought it partly because I wanted to try a cushion blush, having enjoyed some cushion foundations in the summer, but also because of the really, really pretty packaging. There's another, more obviously Sonia Rykiel packaging with the other colour, which I think is more of a coral pink, and that's kind of got the stripes that she was very well known for. I really like this, really love the packaging, not just the gorgeous outside, but I really like that the sponge is black, so it doesn't show up when you're using it, the colour as much. This one's a kind of deep pink, terracotta-y type pink there, but actually just gives a beautiful, delicate flush on the skin. Very pretty, very feminine. I do use the little sponge to pat it in. Very easy to get a very pretty, quite natural look. I don't think it lasts brilliantly well. I've found it helps last for me to have done my finishing powder over the cheek before I apply the blush, which is not what I normally do, and that's helped marginally. But I will say it's not. It needs reapplying during the working day, but that's the only disadvantage. It's a nice product. When I was reviewing the Hourglass Ambient Surreal Light Holiday palette a few videos past, and I was quite negative about it. It did make me remember my favourite Hourglass Luminous Light Ambient lighting powder, and pull it out and use it as a finishing powder this month. You can see this is quite a well-used product. Unlike the palette, I do think the ambient light finishing powders are just glorious. Some of the best products out there. Can be swatched reasonably heavily to give a glow, but you know, it's fairly subtle, or I use these as a finishing powder just to finish, blot a little bit, but mostly to give some subtle luminosity, which we all need at this time of year. Older favourites, although I've been majoring on that Victoria Beckham eye palette, I have also still been using my Chanel. I don't know why I keep it in the packet. Well, I do know why I keep it in the packet. I just love these packets. This is the Candeur et Expérience Les Rouges collection from the autumn. It feels like we got it ages ago because it was released so early. There it is. An unusually all matte Chanel palette. I haven't used it as much as the Victoria Beckham because, truth to tell, I'm not a huge matte eyeshadow fan. Every tutorial tells me I should be, especially as I've got older eyes and shouldn't be wearing anything glittery, but I do like a bit of satin. And I do find the Victoria Beckham marginally easier to work with, but these are beautiful eyeshadows. They last well. They are okay to work with. This is a really useful palette, which will be useful for years to come, and it is still available in some outlets, but not in others. So if you're thinking about that, don't hold back. It is a very strong Chanel release. I also have been using up my Burberry cream shadow in gold copper number 100. These are called eye colour creams from Burberry, and I raved on about this, I think, much earlier in the year. This was my first Burberry cream shadow, and you can see I've used it a lot, and I was so impressed with it. I rushed out and bought 2 other colours, Mink, which I was told is the most popular one in the range, and damson, a really pretty aubergine purple. Now, the interesting thing is, I haven't used the other two, and in fact have got rid of them. I found them to be an almost completely different texture from this one, which is creamy and relatively pigmented, goes on easily just to give a really simple, pretty eye or as a base. The other two I found much sheerer, they were much harder work to get on, and I just didn't find them as useful. So, interesting lesson. Even when you love one of a product and think, well, the formula is going to be consistent across the range, that isn't always the case. I've been not doing cat eyes, using this Soap and Glory, another range that I've been quite negative about in the past, but I had this Super Cat liquid liner. I've had it for a while and didn't really use it, and then picked it out to do some lining for something, and actually finding with my shaky hands, it's a lot easier to use than many I've had. It's something about the thickness, but with the point at the end, which I found very usable. So I have been enjoying that. Favourite fall nail varnish from last year, difficult to get hold of now except on eBay, the gorgeous True Blanche. It's just autumn in a bottle. If you can find a bottle, get it. I wanted to mention Aromatherapy Associates bath oils, which I've talked about a lot in the past. I often buy these from Space NK or other websites when I need to get a minimum purchase to get a gift, because I always use these in the bath one way or another, and the Deep Relax one is the one I usually get and I love. This one is Inner Strength, which was a new one for me, and the fragrance is clary sage, frankincense and cardamom, to find your inner strength in challenging and difficult times. I find this a really uplifting fragrance, slightly citrusy along with the kind of herbal bit of it. And I do recommend it. I love these bath oils. They're really expensive, but they last an age because you need literally a few drops to perfume, the whole house, frankly, when you run a bath. And then I've been wearing all sorts of lipsticks, mostly trying to make my mind up about those Chanel liquid lipstick inks, which I ended up not loving. So I haven't had really a clear fave this last month, but I have been impressed by the YSL Matte Rouge Pur that I got in tiny writing. Doesn't really say, 208. I hate it when they haven't got names and they're just numbers, which is a fuchsia ready pink. Really comfortable to wear and lasts well on the lips, and I have enjoyed that in the evenings, particularly when I want a bold lip but I don't have to worry about it smudging or looking ridiculous when it wears off until I get to the bathroom to reapply. So a lot of good matte formulas out there at the moment: Chanel, Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, and I was impressed with that YSL. So quite a few favourites for October. Let's see what November brings. Until then, bye for now.